Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video we are going through lesson 12, 3D camera tracker. So first of all we are going to start Adobe After Effects CS6. Click and import the assets files which is available in lesson 12, the desktop move, music and page title. And we are going to add the move and page title into a folder. We're going to name it footage, and then we are going to put the music into another folder. We name it audio, and then we're going to create a composition based on our video by dragging the video clip over the new composition icon to create a composition that matches the settings of this video. So now we start the camera tracking by right-clicking the video and then select track camera, and then we select the detailed analysis. This process could take few minutes, however it is executed in the background so you can continue other aspects of After Effects while you are waiting. And when this analysis process is finished, you will see several points indicating the camera positions and their distance from the lens. You can see here we're gonna move the mouse and to select a point to add our content. For example, we're going to select here and we are going to right click, and we can add text and camera, solid, nil, shadow catcher and camera light and others. Basically we're going to add camera and only when we add the first element, because we need to have a camera to track our movement. Next time you're going to see it's going to be only text, solid, nil and so on. So we are going to create text and camera, and here is our text. We will change the text to $35. Before that we change the font color and we add stroke to this color. We change the font name and the size. So as you can see here, the size is 20. This is maybe because you did not select the exact point as available in the lesson in the book. However, you can select or set the size that you like if you are not following exactly the book. You don't need to follow exactly the book. You will just follow the book, so you will find the result which is similar to the end result of the lessons that you have already in your textbook. Basically, we selected a point which is similar, so we're going to delete the text and we are going to add it one more time. So we are going to delete both of them and we are going to select the camera, reveal the effects to be able to select the points one more time. So now we are going to select the text. So here we have the 20 points selected already or set already, so the text is okay, fine. We will just change it again to 35. Everything is fine, so we're going to change this to $35. As you can see here, this is your text. Basically we need to change the font also. We're going to change the orientation. We're going to change the scale, a few things. You can refer always to the book to change these things. So we're going to go to text, press R to reveal the orientation, and then we set the orientation as mentioned or as written in the book. We're going to set the values. If the values will not or did not produce a result that is good for you, you can just set your own values as you want. So we are going to change the scale to 2500. Now it's fine, but we need to change the font to Arial narrow, so it's going to match what we have in the book. So we select the text and we find the Arial. Now we type A, it's going to reveal the Arial, and we select narrow, and now we have something close enough to what we have in the book. So now we see we need to create a duplicate now for the price, to create a label, and then we link it, the duplicate, when we link it to the original layer. So we select the text, we type 35.00 and then we press duplicate, Control D, sorry, to duplicate the layer, and see Control D. And before we change the position or anything, we need to drag the pick whip icon to the original layer to make it a child of it, to create a parenting layer. So we drag, and as you can see here now, after we drag, the positions are set to 0 because they are linked to the original layer, to the parent layer, which is 35. So we're going to change the Y to make it above the original layer, and then we're going to change the text to 145 RPM, and then we scale it down 50% so it fits better above the 35, or above the price layer in general. So go back to layer, select, press S, and then we are going to select 50. Make sure that the constraint properties are selected, so the scale will change for all dimensions X, Y, and Z. We save the project. You can save it anywhere. You can type any name. I'm going to save it as lesson 12 working copy. You can save it inside your project or lesson folder. Okay. So now we create the shadow catcher and the light to simulate the light scene, because as you can see from the statue knife on the mug, there are shadows from them. So we're going to select the same point we use for the text, and we're going to create a shadow catcher and light. But we need to change the light position, shadow properties, to make it more closer to what we have in the scene. So we are going to select the light properties. You can double click the light. First of all, we will change the position of the light, as you will see the result, to make it similar to the position of the shadows that we have. And then we are going to change the light properties. We are going to change the shadow and all this stuff. So we either double click the light or go to the layer menu and select light settings. Okay, change the light name to key light and change the color to, you can use the values from the textbook, and we are going to change the shadows to 15% and 100 pixels, the shadow diffusion, and then you press OK. You see now the shadow looks more realistic, but we need now to change the size of the shadow catcher shape as it simulates the light. So we are going to change the scale of the shadow catcher to 340% instead of 200, and as you can see now it simulates the light much better than before. But now the text, the label, and the price looks dark, so we need to add an ambient light to address this issue and to make it look white again, to make them look white again basically. So we are gonna add a new light from the layer menu, new light, and in this case we're going to name it ambient light, and the light type is going to be ambient. Now we're going to set its intensity to 80%, and when we press OK, you will see the color is much better. It's not dark anymore. So now we are going to continue adding other text elements for other elements in the scene, which is the statue, the knife, and the ukulele, and all these stuff. And we're going to refer to the book for the positions and all these things. You see, we're going to create additional text elements, and here in the book you have each object, the position, the time ruler, and the orientation, the price, and the scale for it, and the label when you make a duplicate. So we're going to continue by copy or by adding extra text element. In this case, you have to be careful when you select, or precise, basically when you select the points in the camera tracker effects to make something similar to what you have in the final video. We're going to save the project first. It's not necessarily that you have something exactly like the output video. You can use your own settings. However, you need to have something similar. So if you can compare in real work, in your project, when you do something for you, you can just select anywhere that suits your needs. So we will add a text for the camera. We are going to change the label. We're going to do the steps. We are going to repeat them for all text layers. So you better pay attention for this text element, because we are going to do the same thing for the rest. So sorry, I changed the time ruler by mistake when I pressed O. So we are going to go to second number 3. We're going to change the orientation as mentioned in the book to 18.2, 353.8 and 355. And then we are going to change the scale of this price to 3000. And then we are going to create a duplicate of this layer. And then we're going to create a parent by dragging the pick whip to the original layer from the duplicate. Okay. Click Control D to duplicate the layer, drag the pick whip to the original layer, and then change the Y to -18, just like we did in the Hendrix 45 RPM. And then this is going to be 35mm camera. We're going to scale it down to 50%. You can change the position of the scale before you type the text or after. It's going to produce the same thing. No difference at all. You just need to make sure that you do all these steps correctly. And this is the 35mm camera. And we are going to jump to second number 5. You're going to select the points. We are going to add a point for the statue. Okay, let's find a suitable point. Okay, I guess I'm still trying to find a proper point. Maybe this is going to be okay. Right click and create a new text, and then we're going to do the same process one more time. I'm going to type the price, which should be 61200, and then we are going to change the scale and the orientation, or orientation then scale, no difference. We are going to press R to change the orientation based on the book. It's going to be 20.8, 353.6 and 353. Okay. We're going to create a duplicate of this layer, link it, and then we change the position, the scale, and the label to make it gold statue. As you can see, I'm going to change the scale first now. It's going to scale down, and then you double click or press T or the type text tool, and then you write gold statue. Okay. I'm going to go to 7. And we're going to repeat the process for the pocket knife, the Swiss pocket knife. Okay, create text. Repeat the steps. We change the price, change its orientation, its scale, then we create a duplicate. We link the duplicate before doing anything, because the duplicate the link will reset the transformation values to, and then we change the Y value to make the label above the price, and then we scale it down by 50%, so it is going to look like what you have in the lesson. Pocket knife. I'm gonna go to 9, second number 9, we save the project. To reveal the track points, we click the 3D tracker. When I double click, the layer moved a little bit, and this is not allowed. Camera tracker cannot do the job when if the layer does not fit the composition. The layer to track its camera. Now we're gonna repeat. We're gonna do the ukulele. And I guess you noticed that when I pressed undo, I undone the change of the $75 label, which is the knife pocket. So we're going to fix this shortly. So we'll create a link, change the position, scale, and ukulele 1942. And now we see that we have some overlapping between the layer text, so we are going to change the positions of few of them, basically the ukulele and the golden statue. We're going to change their position a little bit because they are overlapping with other text layers. However, again, you can set your own settings when you find that there is something needs to be done. So we're going to change the position of the $500 price layer to the following values, which you can get from the book to make it. But you can do it on the timeline by moving the coordinates arrows. Also, we're going to go to 61, and we are going to change it. Oops, I make it 61, so it should be 612. So we change this to 12, and then we change the position to 1534.8, 1680, and then 1811.9. This is going to change the position to this location, and okay, as you can see, now we change the position of these two layers. Everything is okay. Now it seems that, as we said, we need to change the label for the $75 layer. Okay. I double click the wrong layer. Control Z to undo, and then we select the label layer and we write a pocket knife, or we write pocket knife. Control S. And then now we add the treasures titles to PSD. Since we cannot add it directly because we can only create text solid or null, we are going to add null, and then we link the PSD to it. We're going to right click in this position and add create a null, and then we are going to change the null layer name to desktop null, and then we're gonna let's change the name first, and we are going to add the treasures title.psd, and then we link it to we need to add the 3D before we link it, so we are gonna just undo it. Is okay, we're gonna undo, and then we will just turn on the 3D, and then we link to the null object. We are going to change the position, but first we need to move the time ruler to the end, so we see the position of the treasures desktop from a better view when we move it or when we change its position and orientation. We're going to move all the way to the end. You can press end in the keyboard, from the keyboard, to go to the last frame. We're going to change the position, and if the values are not good enough, this is basically because the point that we selected is not exactly similar to the point selected by the author of the book. So as you can see, it seems that the orientation and the position of this desktop is not as we expected, so we are going to work with our own values now. Okay, so this is why. So we are going to go back to the position. First of all, we are going to change the orientation. We're going to press R, and we are going to change the orientation. We're going to change the X rotation, and then not the Y rotation. We are going to change the Z or the Z rotation a little bit, so we're going to make it like this, and then we are just okay. We need to change the position now and the scale. Let's scale first. We're going to use the coordinates to move it on the scene. If you can use this technique, or you can use the values from the composition. And now, okay, change the scale a little bit to 370 instead of 450, and then it looks good. We change the mode to luminosity, and that's it. We are done. Now we are ready to create the animations for our text elements. First, we save the project, and for the animation, let's just quick review everything. We finished all these things, so now we animate the text elements. We animate the first text element, and then we copy paste the animation to all other text elements. So we will animate two properties, or actually three. The scale from the text, we will get the time values and the scale values from the book, or you can use our own values if you like. So we're going to start at second number 1 with 0, then at 108 it's going to be 2800, and then at 110 it returns its original scale value, which is 2500. So we go to the 35 layer, and then I press S to reveal the scale property. We go to 1, basically not 108, we're going to go to 110. You see, 110 is the original value because it's already 2500, so we are going to go to 110, and then we create a keyframe based on this value, and then we go to 108, and then we create a value which is 2800, and then we return to the frame number, or to the second number 1, to create scale value, which is 0. And now we animate the character offset. We are going to add an animation or animator group, which is called character offset. We are going to animate the offset and the character offset. The character offset, it's going to offset the characters. For example, A is going to be B, C, D, or any other character. So we're going to add character offset, and we're going to change the value to 1, and then we make sure that the offset is 0 at the beginning, and then we create a keyframe in here, and then we create a keyframe. We create another keyframe for the character offset. And now we get back to the book and check the values. So at 112, we are going to change the offset to -11, and at 117, we are going to change the value to 20. So we go to 112, and then we're going to change the offset to -100. So we move it to the left side, and we change the offset to 20, the character offset to 20 at 117. And now let's just hide everything to make the preview a little bit faster. We are gonna run preview the first 2 seconds or 3 seconds, the first two, then we stop. And as you can see here, we created the first animation. Okay. Now we will just copy paste the animation keyframes to other layers, and instead of creating this animation again, which is going to save a lot of time. But first of all, we need to ease the offset keyframes. So right click, keyframe assistant, and then easy ease, or you can press F9 if you like. And then we're going to select the animation keyframes and copy. To reveal the animation keyframes only, you press U, and then we are going to take how to use the value from the book to know where to start the animation. So basically, in note 5, we are going to start with 3 to add animation to the camera layer, or to its price basically. So we're going to just paste. You can select the layer and paste. You can go to edit menu and then paste, or you can just press Ctrl V. So we're going to do the same thing for all layers. Paste, and we're going to go to 7, and then we paste, and we go to 9, and then we paste, and that's it. Let's select the text element layers. You see when you press U, you reveal all the animation keyframes. So we're going to select all layers except the desktop, and you press U. When we press U, you see these are the animation keyframes that you copy pasted to all other layers. So you create one, and then you duplicate the keyframes to all other layers. So we will save the project, and then we need to change or to adjust the camera depth of field to make it look more realistic, and add some kind of field depth to our scene. So we're going to double click it, and then we are going to enable the depth of field. We change the aperture. We are going to change the focus distance, and then the f-stop, and we refer to the book to get the values, or you can use your own values, not the blur level. We're going to keep it 100, and then we're going to change the focal length to 27.2. If you are satisfied with the default value, you can keep the default value. Okay, these things are optional, just going to make a better result of your project. And finally, we are going to render the composition, but before we render the composition, we need to add the audio clip. We didn't add the audio clip yet. Okay, and then we are going to go to the audio, and we drag it, put it below all other layers, and then you can run preview, but we are gonna render only. So we are going to render queue, and then you select the composition, the desktop C composition, and you drop it into the render queue value. You can delete and you can add or create the render queue using the shortcut from here, or you can select from the window. So we are going to select from the window one more time, just a reminder, render queue. Now we are going to change the settings. We're going to change the render settings to make the rendering quality to half, to speed up the render process. Only when you render for your project, you use full quality. We are going to select the format to be QuickTime, and from the format options we select a video codec which is H.264, and then we limit the data rate to 8000, and then we press OK, and then that's it. Okay, you press render, and it's going to take a few minutes to render. Before that, you can select the output value, where to save it. For the output, we are going to save it inside the lessons folder. We're going to go to desktop, and we are going to click here and then render. It is going to, the rendering time is related to the complexity of your project, so it could take short time or long time. And that's it. Actually, we forget to add the motion blur for our layers, so you just add all our motion blur to all layers. You can refer to the book, last page of the lesson. Basically, however, we covered how to do motion blur in the previous lessons. Thank you very much, and good luck with students.